One of my favorite ways of practicing passing chords is by taking a song, spending some time with the original chords, and then exploring different approaches to the chords within that progression. So let's take the song Omemma by Chandler Moore. It's in the key of B major. It starts off on the 4 for the chorus, right? Let's focus on that chorus. We start off on the 4 to the 1, then the 5, then the 6. We spend some time there playing that same progression. And from here, what we can do is start adding passing chords in between the original progression, right? You might have heard some of the things that I was exploring while playing through the progression. We start off on the 4, and one of the simplest ways of adding passing chords is by using the secondary dominant. Simply means that if we're approaching the 1, we would go to the 5 of that 1, which is F sharp. And we form a dominant chord, right? It's an F sharp 7 in this case. And coincidentally, the melody also lands on that minor 7th interval, right? It would be something like that. So one thing I want you guys to keep in mind is that try to let that melody of the song when you're practicing to drive the voicings that you form for the chords that you use. Same goes from here. We go from the 1 to the 5, and it goes, you're always on time. So we would go, you're always on time. What is this chord? A C sharp 7, and that's the dominant, secondary dominant, or the 5 of the 5, which is our target chord. So doing it again here, the 5 of the next chord, which is the 6 minor. In this case, I'm playing a dominant chord for the 4, which is our next chord, or where we started, but I'm playing it on the 1 because it's the 5. It is the 5 of that 4. And in this case, the voicing that I'm playing here is this B7 sus2, because the 2 is the melody in that section of the song, right? And the cool thing about this is that we don't necessarily have to strictly play a dominant chord. We can change the extensions a bit. For example, by instead of playing the 3rd, making it a suspended type of sound, right? Still a dominant chord, but with a suspended 4th. We can even make it a dominant 9 by adding the 9th. Something like this. So it would become a F sharp 9 sus 4. So we have right, what am I playing here in this passing chord? Instead of playing instead of playing a D sharp 7, I am adding the flatted 9th for a little bit of tension. It's just an extension that we add, right? We can keep it like a 9th, but if we flat it, it gives a little bit of tension for that passing chord. Same thing here, a flatted ninth on that dominant chord for tension. Now there's a progression that I came up with for this section of the song, which sounds something like this. Alright, so what am I playing here? Still the same concept of secondary dominance, only that we are extending it beyond the passing chord. For example, this first section I played. I started on the 4, but instead of playing the 5 as the passing chord, I went to the passing chord of the passing chord of the passing chord. It's sort of an inception of passing chords. We went to from the 4 to the 6 to the 2 to the 5 and then the 1. If we start on the 5 and go to the 5 of the 5, we have C sharp, which is the 2 in B. If we go to the 5 of this, it's G sharp, which is the 6. So what I did was go from the 4, then 6, 2, 5, 1, right? The 5 of the 5, 5 of the 5, 5 of the 5, and then to the 1. So if we let the melody now drive the voicings we have, this is the 6 chord that we play, right? G sharp 7 sharp 5. Then the 2 chord is the C sharp minor 7. Melody is up here. Melody stays up here when we play the 5, which is a F sharp 7, and then we land on the 1, which I'm voicing as a major 7 type of sound. So Omemma. We use this as a passing chord to get us to the 4. It's an F7, and we're using that 4 as a passing chord, or as a precursor to the passing chord, which is a 2, which leads us to the 5. Hopefully you're following me here, right? So now here I'm playing a 2 to a 3 that leads us to the 6. Oops. So what I want to do now is just play freely, and I'll include a free download to the MIDI file of what I play at the end of this video.